It's the moment the Sussex camp feared most. The second everything flips.
Really? Well, you know what's going on. Someone wanted a lot of attention, and now they got it.
That was the whole episode.
That was the ep.
Yeah.
That was the premise.
Is that what it was?
Like, we want privacy, and they keep going on every magazine.
Yeah.
News.
Be a regular person.
Yeah.
Go get a job in an office.
For 5 years, this was the palace's quiet concern. And now it's no longer just gossip. It's turning into something way more serious. We already laid it out. The LAX escape, 7 suitcases, the sudden Sicily detour, the missing $12 million, and that shadowy architect. At first, big outlets tried to shut it down, called it conspiracy, ignored the canine alert footage, and pushed clean distractions to bury it. But that whole strategy just fell apart because one voice broke through. Joe Rogan didn't just mention it. He went frame by frame. No soft tone, no filter, just straight talk. He said what it looked like. Money laundering. Rogan said, "I've had CIA guys on this show. I've had cartel experts on this show. That is not a vacation. That is an extraction."
Like, damn, we did some bad stuff.
She's half black.
And then the wife convinces you to leave the royal family. Like, I'm out. I don't need you guys. Which is crazy, because don't you just get free money?
Dude, give me my allowance.
What do you get when you're a royal?
You get a stipend.
You get a
What's
get a
the
bunch of
stipend?
cash.
Like,
I'm sure it's
you
a
spend
million
on
a
anything
month.
you want?
Yeah, what about the countesses?
Yeah.
Do they get?
Before we continue, please subscribe. A small click for you means everything for this channel. Then he doubled down. You don't load 7 industrial cases onto a private jet at 3 a.m. unless you're moving something you don't want the government to see. That moment, everything changed overnight. The clip blew past 50 million views in hours. What used to be whispers is now everywhere. And for Meghan Markle, reportedly in Dubai planning her next move. The pressure is real. Rogan didn't just react, he flipped the narrative. The polished image cracked and one word started spreading. Suspect. Inside Montecito, the silence is gone. A podcast looping nonstop. Prince Harry alone, no sleep, replaying it again and again.
That's why a lot of these celebrities that start these things, they can't keep up. You know, like the Meghan Markles.
But you're the same.
You're the same.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, guys, you don't got to do this. Please, I'm begging you to stop.
That realization hits different. He walked away from royal life to build something new. And now, the biggest voice online is breaking it all down in real time. Then Rogan caught something others missed. Look at the guy loading the third bag. That bag weighs 100 pounds. If that stresses she's wearing lead, that's currency. And then the line that froze everything. The dog sat down. That dog knows more than the prince does. That one hit hard. Reports say it pushed Harry deeper into doubt. Pieces started connecting. Not just a relationship, but something bigger moving quietly behind the scenes. Rogan kept going. Who is the woman with the clipboard? He made it clear, said this wasn't random. You don't pull something this precise without a professional involved.
But they
wanna
can't
go, but,
make
you know.
money off the royal family.
So why did you say yes to doing this show?
Because it's you. And to me, that means
There was like photos with her and Prince Andrew way back in the day when she was like in her early 20s.
According to him, she wasn't just staff, she was she was the cleaner, the one who knows where everything is hidden. Now the bigger picture starts forming. Offshore links, shell companies, hidden networks, all being talked about on the biggest platform out there. And the reaction? Instant. Calls started flooding authorities. This isn't quiet talk anymore, wow. It's loud pressure everywhere. Rogan pushed it even further. If you or I did this, we'd be in handcuffs. That line hit like a warning, because now this isn't a fairy tale anymore. It's turning into something serious. Harry, right in the middle of it, is starting to see it clearly. The public isn't cheering anymore. They're watching closely. Then Rogan went deeper into the law.
I knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake.
Title 31, United States Code, Section 5324. It's called structuring. He broke it down simple. You don't move millions at once. You split it, move it quietly, layer by layer. In the industry, it's known as smurfing. Then he pointed again. That woman with the clipboard, she's not a travel agent, she's the smurf. That's when everything crossed the line, from drama into something that feels calculated. Then came the money trail. Rogan questioned the so-called consulting fees draining accounts. Who are these consultants? Why is huge money flowing into low-profile entities with no staff, no offices, no real presence, just paperwork? That question set the internet on fire. Now people are digging deep, tracking companies in places like Wyoming and Delaware No employees, no activity, just quiet money pipelines.
There isn't a tear in sight. It's an actor's trick.
Soho House, Toronto, which is basically TIG headquarters for me. I write my stories here, I take my meetings here, and it's kind of amazing because all over the world, if I'm traveling, Soho House can still be home base.
You'll make yourself cry. Oh, I can do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy. You're like, Meghan, one tear, left eye, go. Give me 3 seconds.
And then Rogan zoomed back in on the so-called architect. Joe Rogan said, "Look at her demeanor. She wasn't rushed. She looked bored." Then he dropped it. This wasn't chaos. This was a professional extraction. He connected dots others stayed away from. You think Meghan Markle, the cable actress, knows how to set up a double-blind trust in the UAE? Rogan laughed. No, she was handed a playbook. According to him, this was already built before anything even started. The moment they landed in California, everything was already moving. For Prince Harry, sitting alone in the dark, that realization hits different. He starts remembering everything, the meetings, the financial experts, the paperwork he signed without questioning.
Nobody talks like that and nobody acts like that, because that's weird behavior that we're seeing from both of these people if we're supposed to be thinking under the impression that they're being authentic.
Back then it felt normal. Now it looks calculated, not simple money management, something deeper. Back in Montecito, it's 4 a.m. Harry moves through the office searching files, but nothing's there. Empty cabinets, no documents, no trace. He logs into accounts he can still access. And then the numbers hit: $450,000 to Global Synergies LLC, Delaware. $600,000 to Strategic Narrative Partners, Wyoming. $1.2 million to Archipelago Holdings, Cayman Islands. The names mean nothing, but the money says everything. He calls the old palace accountant, the one who warned him before. When the call connects, Harry asks one question. What is structuring? Silence. Then it lands heavy. Sir, it's a federal crime, and if your signature is on those checks, you are not the victim. You're a co-conspirator. That moment, everything collapses. Rogan already said it. Checkmate. If Harry speaks, he risks exposing himself. If he stays quiet, he's trapped. No way out. On the podcast, a former IRS investigator explained it clearly. Money moves through places like Delaware first, cleaning the origin, then spreads out looking legitimate on paper. Then they went back to the suitcases. Why cash? Because cash leaves no trail. Digital money can be tracked, but physical cash disappears. Rogan called it ghost money. Money that moves, buys assets, builds a new life with no footprints. And those suitcases? Just a small piece. The real money moved quietly through accounts while everything looked normal. This isn't just a bad marriage, Rogan said. This is a conspiracy. He pointed to patterns, coordinated transfers, movement across states. That's when everything shifts again. This isn't gossip anymore. It's something bigger, Rogan made it clear. Investigators don't care about titles. They follow signatures. Not status, not image, just who signed the checks. And that pressure, it's building fast. Harry is stuck between what he believes and what the records could show. Then Rogan dropped one more detail. The architect made one mistake, the dog got too close. Now there's a trail, questions, and a situation that won't stay quiet. And then the Yeo-by conversation turns even sharper. Rogan paused, looked up, and asked the question that changed everything. Where are the kids? He didn't skip past it. He dug in deeper. Joe Rogan pulled up flight records, replayed footage, and broke it down step by step. We see the bags, we see the Duchess, we see the handlers, but where are Archie and Lily? He stayed careful. No claims, just questions. He pointed out something simple. If children were there, you'd expect visible arrangements. Staff, security, something clear. But in the footage, nothing. They're not visible on the plane. Or they weren't part of that flight, Rogan said. And that line shifted everything again. Now the conversation moves from rumors to concern about clarity, custody, and responsibility. Online reactions explode. Not panic, questions, people want answers. Then Rogan stepped into the legal side. He talked about international custody laws, how things get complicated fast. When borders are involved, the point was simple. Once it crosses jurisdictions, everything slows down and gets messy. This is checkmate, Rogan said, not as a claim, but a warning. Now it's not about drama anymore. It's about law and accountability. Then he added another layer. Location matters. Some places handle legal issues very differently. That ties into what looks like strategy. Moves based on positioning, not emotion. And in that game, leverage is everything. family becomes the biggest factor, Rogan pointed out something else. When was the last time we saw a clear, verified photo? Again, no conclusions, just questions about visibility and control. Back in Montecito, morning hits. But inside, everything feels frozen. Prince Harry walks toward the children's wing. Security stays silent. He opens the door and stops. Everything is perfectly arranged. Beds untouched, toys lined up like a display. It doesn't feel lived in. He checks the closet. Clothes are there, but something feels off. The tags are still on. That detail hits hard. Not proof, but something that doesn't sit right. The silence in the room feels heavy. The caregivers he trusted, gone. Logs missing, documents missing, nothing where it should be. Harry drops down, holding a toy that looks brand new. That moment isn't just confusion, it's distance. Moments that now feel unclear, disconnected. And right as that weight settles in, Rogan shifts again, straight to Doria Ragland. "Where's the mom?" Rogan asked. He made it clear, not an accusation, just a key question. In his theory, if Meghan Markle handles strategy, Doria handles logistics. "We need to find Doria," Rogan said, pushing for answers, not guesses. According to what was discussed, Doria hadn't been seen at her Los Angeles home recently. Neighbors reportedly noticed no activity for days. Then Rogan pulled up flight data, and this is where things got even heavier. ACO, private jet leaving Van Nuys, destination Istanbul, MH on a major global transit hub. He made it clear, this is theory, not confirmation, but still, it raised serious eyebrows. Joe Rogan said they split the assets. One side handles finances, the other handles family logistics. He compared it to high-level risk strategy. You don't move everything together. If one side gets hit, the other still has leverage. That's not chaos, that's planning. And that's what shook people the most. Not proof, but how calculated it sounded if any of it is real. Rogan didn't claim facts. He asked questions that now demand answers. They didn't just leave quietly, he said, framing it as a coordinated exit. Structured, not random. Then he aimed straight at the top. Looking into the camera, he addressed King Charles III directly. "Hey, King," Rogan said. He pointed to the situation. Unclear whereabouts of the grandchildren, complex legal zones, and financial. Questions growing louder, not a threat. Pressure. Would the crown step in or let things drift further? Rogan's take was sharp. Meghan Markle isn't disappearing. She's repositioning, not running, waiting. Waiting not for Harry, but for negotiations. She wants a settlement. She wants leverage, Rogan said. In his view, this wasn't escape. It was strategy, and the cost wouldn't just be money. Back in California, daylight hits, but the house stays silent. The nursery, still empty, and Prince Harry is now facing a decision that could change everything. According to the narrative, he makes the call he swore he never would. He reaches out to his father, not with answers, but fear, admitting he doesn't understand what's happening anymore. At 4:12 a.m. London time, a rarely used line reportedly rings inside Buckingham Palace, a line meant for serious moments. When the king answers, it's not confidence on the other side. It's something broken. She has them. Harry reportedly says, followed by another shock. The money is gone. What happens next isn't public. No statements, no press spin. According to Rogan, something else begins. Movement. Within an hour, royal restraint is gone. Crisis teams activated. Not for image, but action. Not just meetings, real moves. You don't take the king's grandchildren and expect a courtroom fight, Rogan said earlier. You expect an operation. And in his version, that's exactly what starts. At this point, everything shifts again. This isn't about reputation anymore. It's something deeper. Rogan explained it clearly. The monarchy plays the long game. It waits, absorbs pressure, moves when the timing is right. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. Then he suggested something even bigger, that financial movements may have been quietly watched for months. If that's true, everything changes. This might not be the end, just the beginning of something controlled. They knew, an insider reportedly said, movements tracked, companies forming, money shifting, and no early move. Not because they couldn't act, but because they chose not to. The logic? Let everything play out fully. Step in too early. It looks like control. Wait, and responsibility falls on the ones making the moves. That's the shift. King Charles III isn't distant anymore. Now he's the one stepping in. The silence wasn't weakness, it was patience. And now, according to this theory, the trap closes. Back in Montecito, mid-morning, The gates open, not media, not local officials. 3 black Range Rovers with diplomatic plates roll in slowly. Doors open. 4 men step out in gray suits, briefcases in hand. No noise, no cameras. These aren't personal lawyers. These are crown representatives. Prince Harry meets them at the door, exhausted, overwhelmed. The lead man doesn't waste time. He hands over a document and says, "Sir, we are assuming control of asset recovery and responsibility for you while on this property." And just like that, everything shifts. Panic turns into precision. Devices secured, systems documented, everything handled calmly. This isn't chaos. This is procedure. Harry sits there, watching it unfold. And then it hits him. That call, it wasn't asking for help. It was surrender. The freedom he fought for is gone. Now he's back under the same institution he once walked away from. According to reports discussed online, a detailed dossier was shared with US authorities. Names behind consulting firms, flight records, internal communications tied to money movement, all laid out. Whoever set this up may have thought layers and encrypted apps would protect them, but intelligence agencies don't play at that level. A Delaware company doesn't stop serious investigation. The implication, heavy. According to this theory, the message is clear. Authorities handle the Falsardis. Financial side, the palace handles the family side. Pressure from both directions. Meghan Markle, reportedly in Dubai, now faces questions everywhere. Financial scrutiny on one side, family questions on the other. That kind of pressure shifts power fast. Even strong connections hesitate when multiple systems close in. At this point, it's not about image anymore. It's about control, leverage, and who holds authority when everything collides. Those men in gray suits didn't come to fix anything. They came to extract. The lead agent keeps it simple. "Pack a bag, sir. The plane is waiting." Harry looks around the empty house. The silence hits different. "What about the house?" he asks. "The house is a crime scene. It will be liquidated. Your life here is over." That lands hard. This isn't a comeback. It's a recall. He's not returning as a hero. He's going back under protection and control, shielded but restricted. As the convoy rolls out, Harry looks back one last time. The place he chose, it's already gone in his mind. He ran chasing freedom and ended up trapped. Now the only way out is the one he tried to avoid, back inside the system. King Charles III answered, and now everything is in motion. And the target? Not just Meghan Markle, the entire situation. But this doesn't play out in public. No courtrooms, no cameras, it moves somewhere else entirely. A glass tower in Dubai, silent, controlled, pressure building behind closed doors. Within 48 hours, another team arrives. No headlines, just serious talks. The message isn't loud, it's precise. Legal standing, financial exposure, future positioning, all laid out clean. According to reports, the meeting is short. No drama, just terms. And the pressure? It works. Accounts reportedly frozen, key figures stepping back. Everything starts shifting fast. Because when systems align, the tone changes instantly. Outside that meeting, it's visible. No smiles, no gestures, like just the realization that everything changed direction. Even Joe Rogan pointed to history. Moments where situations were handled quietly. No noise, no spectacle, not chaos. Control, not reaction. Strategy, containment, distance, silence. According to the narrative, the outcome is structured. Personal freedom stays, but influence fades. Visibility drops hard, no big appearances, no global spotlight. The presence becomes smaller, controlled. From the outside, everything still looks perfect, but inside, it feels different. Calls go unanswered, partnerships fade, access becomes limited. The momentum, gone. Same image, same approach, but it doesn't hit the same anymore because attention moved on, and then comes the realization. Without that connection, nothing works the same. What once felt powerful now feels empty. And that silence, it's not peace, it's distance. Then the final question comes back. The children, according to sources. Doria Ragland was located safely in a secured environment arranged earlier. And the children? They were transferred legally and safely before the flight even left Los Angeles. Not a rescue, a controlled handover. Prince Harry, now in a protected setting in the UK, has reportedly been reunited with them under proper supervision. No cameras, no spectacle, just quiet handling. What looked like leverage, it may not have been at all. Once jurisdiction shifted, everything changed. Legal processes slow down, but control becomes clear. Boundaries are set, and they don't move. So how does it end? With a reset, Harry back under institutional care. out of the spotlight, rebuilding quietly. Meghan remains abroad, still titled, but distant. Visibility reduced, influence limited, voice quieter. And the missing money? That becomes a slow, controlled process handled by lawyers and accountants. And the public? They move on. No big finale, no dramatic ending, just the lights fading out. If you've got thoughts on this, drop them below. If this changed how you see the story, subscribe and stay locked in. More deep dives coming. Don't miss what's next.